This is DB Online, an exclusive presentation of SportsTalkFlorida.com. Great to have you guys with us. Eric Lopez is through the producer booth, producing this segment with me. We had a good debate this morning on the David Baumann Show regarding the Jacksonville Jaguars and the fan base sticking up for its team, really taking shots at national media members who need to stay on their P's and Q's, as First Coast News puts it. Thought it was a really interesting topic about how, with social media these days, fans can basically protect their team from the national media, like Jason LaCanfora of NFL Network, who suggests the Jacksonville Jaguars will be the team to move to London. And Roger Goodell has intimated in the past that he wants a team overseas, and people have just automatically assumed and suggested it will be the Jaguars, whereas Jaguars fans were loaded with ammunition this past week after news came out about the $63 million of renovations to Everbank Field. Elo, I've got a bunch of listener comments. I want to let you know I'm still split on the thought process of whether there will be a team in London under Roger Goodell's tenure. I think in our lifetimes, yes. I'm still kind of wishy-washy on whether I think there will be a team with Roger Goodell as commissioner. I know he wants it, but I don't know if he'll get it.
Yeah, not happening. Good luck there, Raj. He'll have as much luck getting a team into London like he did suspending Jonathan Vilma.
Whoa. All right. We've got a bunch of listeners writing in. I'm going to get to some of the listener comments right now. Mike writes in at Mike_R_Holzer at David Baumann 33. My fantasy team will move to London before an NFL team does. Stern can't get an NBA team there, and that's an international game. And on that topic of NBA, at More EV writes into the show, I'd love an NBA team in London or Paris. So beyond that, as David Stern can't make that happen. Mike writes in at Yankee 2479. If Jacksonville moves to London, don't 2 to 3 more teams need to move to London to make it feasible? I thought that was interesting, Eric.
Yeah, traveling is an issue. You don't just go to Europe, random trip. It's an international flight, oh, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a different flight than there's a lot of tactical issues, from a traveling standpoint, a scheduling standpoint. Where do you put them in a division?
Yeah, Stiggs at Night Bangle writes into the show, David Baumann 33. You'd have to have multiple teams in Europe. Travel for U.S. teams should be exception, not the rule. Ireland, maybe. U.S. teams should be the tease. Concussion rules in Europe would kill the franchise. Way more friendly to players than the NFL. Speaking of the UK, we've got avid listener Jamie Garwood, who actually writes for 1AM Sports, covers the NFL, wrote into the show. Disagreeing with Elo about Wembley's ability to support a team. He says, in regard to sold out Wembley, it will sell out, but we will be overpriced by the second year. And obviously the team has to be successful to warrant a sellout crowd.
Come on.
If they suck, we'll stay home and save money.
Here's the other question. If you're a player, how are you going to get paid? Like, how does the salary work if you're in London? From a tax standpoint, from a salary standpoint, you're getting paid in London, but you're going to play some games in the United States, but you play in London. How does that work? Because if I'm a player, I'm saying, wait a minute, I got to travel to London? Maybe I should get more money. How does that work? How are you going to figure that out?
Yeah. How
does that work from a salary cap standpoint? Everything's a little more expensive in Europe than in the States.
Phil, an avid listener at PhilBob2004 writes into the show, on that topic of multiple teams, the only way to do it would be to play the first 7 games at home with opposition having bye week before or after the game. And he continues, then staying in a city that has a stadium or practice for the other half of the season.
No, thank you.
Okay. So it ain't going to happen.
No way. They'll put a team in Los Angeles before they put a team in Europe.
Because they've been playing the regular season games there. The Rams had the contract. The Rams backed out of the contract. Yeah. The Rams got spanked by the Niners last year, 45-7.
New England.
New England. What did I say? Niners? Oh, Niners played there in 2010 and beat Denver, I believe, 24-16. Yeah. But the Rams backed out. The Jaguars go in. Now, I think there are Jaguars fans who are split on this. I think there are some who I have had write to me suggesting they like the idea of the Jaguars going to London for the next 4 years, one game each season for the next 4, because it helps to expand the brand globally. It's a brand that's very localized, and they have good support of that team. Remember, the Jags drew 65,000 a game last year, 10,000 more per game than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jaguars had 2 wins all season long. So it's still a good, strong local following. I think some like the idea of the brand building.
I don't buy the branding is going to help you play in London. You know what helps branding? Winning. You get to the playoffs, that's how your brand grows. To me, taking away a home game from your consumers, if I'm a season ticket holder, how am I enjoying this? Especially what? Oh, yeah, we play the 49ers in London. Great, thanks.
I don't know. I could see this thing still happen in 15 to 20 years. May it be a huge disaster? Possibly. I'm going. That'll be my call on this. 15 to 20 years, we'll have a team situated there, and I think it could be a disaster.
And then
for
what?
The
They'll
first
just move
5
it
years.
again?
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, I can see that. That's a fair answer.
That's my call on it. What's your call? How many years, if at all, Elo, or is it never?
I say 50 years if it ever happens.
50.
Yeah.
For Eric Lopez, I'm David Baumann. Big thanks to all our avid listeners who always write into the show at David Baumann 33. Our show airs every weekday morning, the David Baumann Show, from 6 to 9 on 1040 and 1080 The Team. We're powered by the Peacock NBC Sports.